शाद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सगन ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्दम् श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्दम् कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद।
Hare Krishna, Anirudha Seva Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams.
Dandat Pranam. Hare Bol Prabhu.
Is it okay, Prabhuji, to enable the video?
Ha, yeah. Let's start.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
It's not so clear, Prabhuji. I think okay, no problem. Hare Krishna, devotees, Dandat Pranams to all. We welcome all of you for the today's morning program, Nityam Bhagavatha Sevaya. And today we are very happy to have His Grace Anirudha Seva Prabhu, and he will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 1st chapter, verses 34 and 35. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, later on you can share the screen for the shlokas.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandat Pranams.
Hare Bol, Dandat Pranam. Hare Bol. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajana Randana Yashodanandana Brajana Randana Yashodanandana Brajana Randana Yashodanandana Brajana Randana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari 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 Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Yadvaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Yadvaita Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
श्रियाद्वैतगदाधाम श्रीवासति गौरभक्तवृन्दाम्
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, you are able to hear?
Yes, Prabhuji, now it's clear, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay. I think maybe. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Radha, Shama Sundar Radha, Shama Sundar Radha, Jai Radha, Murlidhar Radha, Murlidhar Radha. जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधा जय राधा रमण राधा रमण राधा जय राधा विनोद राधा विनोद राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन धाम जय वृंदावन धाम वृंदावन धाम जय वृंदावन जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव Jamshpat Param Supratikata Stotras Das Moses Venke Subhachan Bhakti Ram Shamshkar Prabhupada Maharaj Jai ISKCON Samstapaka Jashla Prabhupada Maharaj Jai Krishna Kapama Jashla Prabhupada Maharaj Jagat Guru Shla Prabhupada Maharaj Jai Om Vishnupada Param Supratikata Stotras Das Moses Venke Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, अनंत कोटि आचार्य वृंद की जय, नमः शिलार दस ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय, मायपुर नवदीप धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी द्वारका धाम की जय, गंगे में यमुना माई की जय, तुलसी भक्ति देव की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत हरिनाम संकीर्तन श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to assembled it is, all glories to assembled, all glories to assembled it is, all glories to assembled. Shri Guru Shri Gauranga, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So welcome to all devotees for today's Bhagavatam session, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So we are taking from 5th canto, 1st chapter, 34th verse and 35. I'll start with my prayers. Om Agnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति सुपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते सप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी शुभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छा कल्पतरुषु कृपा सिन्धु पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। So this 5.1.34 is creative impetus, the canto name, and chapter 1. Haribol. So the shloka is like this. Duhitaram chorjaswatim namo shasane prayachad yasyam asi devayani nama kavya sutta. Duhitaram चोर्जस्वतीं नामो शासने प्रयच्छत् यस्याम् आसीत् देवयानी नाम काव्या सुता। दुहितारं चोर्जस्वतीं नामो शानसे प्रयच्छत् यस्याम् आसीत् देवयानी नाम काव्या सुता। Word by word meaning. Duhitaram, the daughter. Cha also. Urjaswati, Nama named Ushanase, unto the great sage Ushana Shukracharya. Prayachat, he gave, Yasyam, unto whom Asit, there was, Devayani, Nama named Kavya Sutta, the daughter of Shukracharya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. King Priyavrata then gave his daughter Urjaswati in marriage to Shukracharya, who begot in her a daughter named Devayani. So there is no purport. We'll go to shloka number 5.1.35. Naivam vidaha purushakara urukramasya pumsham tadangri rajasa jita shad gunanam chitram vidura vigataha sakrad adadita yannamadheyam adhuna sajahati bandham naivam vidha purushakara urukramasya पुंसां तदंग्री रजसा जित षड्गुणानां चित्रं विदुरा विगतः शक्र अदाधिता यं नामधेयम् अधुना स जहाति बन्धं नैवं विदः पुरुषकार उरुक्रमस्य पुंसां तदंग्री रजसा जित षड्गुणानां चित्रं विदुरा विगतः सकृददादिता यन्नामधेयम् अधुना स जहाति बन्धम्. Word meaning and purport. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Na, not. Eva vidha, like that. Purusha Karaha, personal influence. Urukramasya, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pumsham, of the devotees. Tad Angri, of his lotus feet. Rajasa, by the dust. Jita Shadgunanam, who have conferred the influence of 6 kinds of material waves. Chitram, wonderful. Vidura Vigataha, the 5th great person or the untouchable. Sakrit, only once. Ada Dita, if he utters. Yat, whose Namadheyam, holy name. Adhuna, immediately. Sa, he. Jahati, gives up. Bandham, material bondage. Translation. My dear king, a devotee who has taken shelter of the dust from the lotus feet of Lord can transcend the influence of the 6 material waves, namely hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. And he can conquer the mind and 5 senses. However, this is not very wonderful for a pure devotee of the Lord, because even a person beyond the jurisdiction of the 4 castes, in other words, an untouchable, is immediately relieved of the bondage to material existence if he utters the holy name of the Lord even once. So purport. Shukdev Goswami was speaking to Maharaj Parikshit about the activities of King Priyavrata, and since the king might have had doubts about these wonderful, uncommon activities, Shukdev Goswami reassured him. My dear king, he said, don't be doubtful about the wonderful activities of Priyavrata. For a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything is possible because the Lord is also known as Urukrama. Urukrama is a name for Lord Vamandeva, who performed a wonderful act of occupying the 3 worlds with 3 footsteps. Lord Vamandeva requested 3 paces of land from Maharaja Bali, and when Maharaja Bali agreed to grant them, the Lord immediately covered the entire world with 2 footsteps, and for his 3rd step, he placed his foot upon Bali Maharaj's head. Sri Jai Goswami says, Chalayasi Vikramane Balin Adbhuta Vamana Padanakha Nirajanita Jana Pavana Keshavadhruta Vamana Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. All glories to Lord Keshava, who assumed the form of a dwarf. O Lord of the universe, who take away everything inauspicious for the devotees. O wonderful Vamana Deva, you tricked the great demon Bali Maharaj by your steps, the water that touched the nails of your lotus feet when you pierced through the covering of the universe purifies all living entities in the form of river Ganges. Since the Supreme Lord is all-powerful, he can do things that seem wonderful for a common man. Similarly, a devotee who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of Lord can also do wonderful things unimaginable to a common man by the grace of the dust of those lotus feet. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore teaches us to take shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. Ayanda tanuja kinkaram pratitam mam vishame bhavam buddho krupaya taupada pankajo sidodhuli sadrusham vichintaya. O son of Nanda Maharaja, I am your eternal servant, yet somehow or the other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet. Lord Chaitanya teaches us to come in touch with the dust of the Lord's lotus feet. For then there will undoubtedly be all success. Because of the material body, every living entity in material existence is always disturbed by the Shadguna, 6 waves: hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, invalidity, and death. Furthermore, another Shadguna are the mind and the 5 sense organs. Not to speak of a sanctified devotee, even a Chandala, an outcast who is untouchable, is immediately freed from the material bondage if he utters the holy name of the Lord even once. Sometimes caste Brahmanas argue that unless one changes his body, he cannot be accepted as a Brahmana. For since the present body is obtained as a result of past actions, one who has in the past acted as a Brahmana takes birth in a Brahmana family. Therefore, they contend without such a Brahminical body, one cannot be accepted as a Brahmana. Here it is said, however, that even Vidura Vigata, Chandala, a 5th class untouchable, is freed if he utters the holy name even once. Being freed means that he immediately changes his body. Sanatana Goswami confirms this. Yata kanchanatam yati kamsyam rasa vidhanataha tatha diksha vidanena jujatvam jayate nam. When a person, even though a Chandala, is initiated by a pure devotee into chanting the holy name of the Lord, his body changes as he follows the instruction of the spiritual master. Although one cannot see how his body has changed, we must accept on the grounds of the authoritative statements of the Shastras that he changes his body. This is to be understood without arguments. This verse clearly says, Sa Jahati Bandham. He gives up his material bondage. The body is a symbolic representation of material bondage according to one's karma. Although sometimes we cannot see the gross body changing, chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord immediately changes the subtle body. And because the subtle body changes, the living entity is immediately freed from material bondage. After all, changes of the gross body are conducted by the subtle body. After the destruction of the gross body, the subtle body takes the living entity from his present gross body to another. In the subtle body, the mind is predominant, and therefore, if one's mind is always absorbed in remembering the activities or lotus feet of the Lord, he is to be understood to have already changed his present body and become purified. Therefore, it is irrefutable that a Chandala or a fallen or a low-born person can become a Brahmana simply by the method of bona fide initiation. Hare Krishna. Om Agnatimrandasya Naranjana Shlaka Chakshamitamena Tasmai Shri Guruvai Namaha. Hari Hari Bol. So, welcome to all devotees for today's session, and thanks for giving this opportunity in service to the Lord. And for my own purification, I'm going to talk about this shloka in my own little understanding and my own realization. So, we are in this chapter, the 5th canto, 1st chapter, and the 34th verse. So there is actually Brahma and all have come and they have already discussed this matter. Then now, as a flashback, Shukadeva Goswami is reciting, is telling Maharaja Parikshit about what happened and how Priyavrata has been considered as one of the greatest devotee. In fact, Parikshit Maharaj had that doubt. Of course, he is asking that doubt for the benefit of all the readers and common people, that how Parikshit, Premvarta was so much attached to his family, his kingdom, and all that. How did he suddenly leave all this? Of course, over a period of time, he left everything and cut down his material bondage. And how did he become a devotee? So, in that context, the discussion is going on. So, it is this shloka is actually very, very relevant for our grihasthas and for devotees like us, sadhakas like us, that we are also from the day one, we have been bound by this material clutches and living in this material world. We have so much of attachment and so much of belonging to this place, that it is very easy to come out of this net, worldwide net, www, Maya. So Maya is so strong that you cannot. It's very difficult to come out. So that's why one Maharaj was asked the question. Maharaj, I think it was Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj in Bahrain. So Maharaj, this we are working, struggling hard. We are trying to be devotees. We are doing chanting, attending temples, so many things we are doing. But still, the moment we go back home, we are or we just left, exited from the temple, out of the doors of the temple. Immediately we go out, we are caught up with Maya. We don't know. We just totally forget, and then we get entangled like that. So Maharaj, in a very funny way, he answered, what to speak of going out of the temple? Now I'm sitting in the Vyasasan. If I get up from the Vyasasan, I'm getting caught by Maya. So that is a predicament we all face. So I was, like he was telling that, it's so powerful, Maya. Even just getting out of the Vyasasan means immediately you will have to be careful. So like that. I was just joking. And also there's another incident. Again, he was telling that Maharaj, this Maya is again the same concept. Maya is so strong. How do we come out of this? And what is the real solution? So Maharaj is telling that, see, Maya is like a tree. So, and you are holding the tree, saying that this tree, I need this tree, I need this benefits of the tree. I want the flowers, I want the fruit. you're not letting go the tree and you're holding it. And if you're holding that very tightly, how on earth you can get released from Maya? First, you have to release your hands, and you have to come out of. If you don't make an intention to release, and you are holding Maya very tightly, and telling that Maya is not releasing me, Maya is not. I'm not getting released. So that is very tough situation. So you have to act accordingly. So like that he was mentioning. So these are the instances which we come across, and our predicament is also like that. And also like while we are going, when acharyas have said that in this material world, we also have the spiritual world. So since we are Tatastha Shakti, we can living entity can shift easily, come out of the material external force energy, and then get into the internal energy of the Lord, which can be through the Haladini Shakti, and then enter into the Bhakti Yoga. So that is why we are called marginal potency, marginal. So that we Tatastha Shakti, where we have a choice to either stay in Maya or stay in the spiritual world, Adhyatma Jagat, and both are available in this material world. Although it is grossly material, but subtly we have the spiritual energy, and the spiritual realm is there. Of course, it takes a very long time to get to that understanding, come to that understanding, and then remain in that platform. But it can be done. So whenever we are doing bhakti, either in the temple, in the home, doing service to Krishna and the devotees directly, that means we are in the bhakti yoga. Directly, we are in the spiritual realm, and we are in the Vishuddha Sattva. We are above the modes of goodness as well. So that is the potency, or that is the beauty of this bhakti yoga. Of course, that our service, seva bhav, and our mood and our servitude should be of the top class, of the highest class, that there is no deviation. Without deviation, if one-minded, single-minded, if you're doing, even in this material world, you're doing bhakti to Krishna with all devotion, in all sincerity, and with all, more than anything, Preeti Purvaka, with loving devotional service. That's why Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami title it as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. What is that? It's an ocean of pure loving devotional service. So it's one is that loving is there, and then pure devotional service. It's all that. Of course, it was all given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna in the form of a devotee. He advised, he gave the teachings to Rupa Goswami, and then gave that wonderful commentary or the thesis about bhakti. The whole entire bhakti yoga was covered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami in Prayagraj, in the banks of Allahabad, near the Triveni Sangam. There is Dashashwamedha Ghat. So in 10 days, Mahaprabhu gave the entire the philosophy, Achintya Bheda Tattva, and Bhakti Yoga concepts, tenets to Rupa Goswami. And that is how he compiled, he made this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So that loving devotional service can come even in this material world. We can do it, provided we have that undivided attention to the Lord, focus, and the servitude. Then it can be possible. So we can sway between the material and the spiritual world. But as much as we stay in the spiritual platform, we are saved. The moment we are getting attracted to the material world, immediately Maya will catch us, and it can cause us a lot of trouble to the limited. And then again, getting back to the devotional practices is going to take time. So this is day in and day out we are facing. So that's why we have to be more cautious about dealing in our external dealings and external world without getting contaminated, or without getting taken away by the attractions or the distractions rather. So we should perform our devotional practices. So Prabhu, can we go back to the shloka 35th? Yeah, so it's a wonderful shloka. The perfect solution is also given here. Yeah, can you come down to the translation? So it's a the shloka is so significant for us that it's telling, my dear king, a devotee who has taken shelter of the dust from the lotus feet of the Lord can transcend the influence of the six material waves. So this is what is important. Shukadeva Goswami is advising that the Raja, the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord can transcend and can actually help us a lot. And as Chaitanya Charitamrita also, that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, three things are very important for a devotee if he has to progress. One is the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord, and then the offered water, the Pada Puja, the offered water remnants which is there, which is washed to the devotee of the Lord. And if that is not taken, of course, in a few drops, and then the Uchishta of the Mahatma, of a Guru or a Swamiji or a great devotee of the Lord. So if we take that, it is actually very, very potent, and it can progress us in our, gives a lot of progress in our spiritual life. So that is mentioned here. And he can overcome the six material waves. So this is something very unique in the sense we always hear about the material urges, which is Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, the six urges. But this is about talking of six material qualities or the waves. What is that? Hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. So this is what, day in and day out, we are attacked by these six waves. The hunger and for the food or for water or for so many material accomplishments, even material accomplishments, desires, all coming out of the root desire. And then the thirst, lamentation is there. So this, even everything best of the facilities are given to us, we lament, we always complain. And then we are caught in the illusion, the very Maya, Jagat, old age and death. And he can conquer the mind and five senses. Also, this is also the six, the material, or the six organs which are going to haunt us. That is also the five senses and the mind. So these also are considered as the six most important organs. And then, however, this is not very wonderful for a pure devotee of the Lord, because even a person beyond the jurisdiction of the four castes, in other words, an untouchable, is immediately relieved of bondage to material existence if he utters the holy name of the Lord even once. So even a Chandala, who is the fifth caste, if is a untouchable, even if that person chants the holy name even once, it says, of course, it is only for to highlight or extrapolate an event, but we should not take it as a this is the Shastra evidence and I'll chant only once. That is enough. No, it is just for extrapolation and for highlighting the greatness, the holy name, Nama Chintani, Chintamani, Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purna Shuddho, Nityam Mukto, Abhinatvam, Namna Namna. As Padma Purana says, the holy name's glorification is so huge, we can't even imagine. So just by uttering once, that can deliver that person from this material bondage. And for that too, for what? Not for a pure devotee, or not for a Atmarama Muni Escho, Nirgranti Urukrame, Nirgrantimapi Urukrame. So even not for that, even for a pure devotee also, this holy name is going to deliver. One is that they're already delivered because they are Shuddha Bhava, Shuddha Sattva. But since they are again enjoying in the limelight of the holy name and enjoying in the devotional practices, they are again going to stay in that realm, and then they enjoy, or they stay in that and then taste the nectar, and they can never come out of that platform, of that nectarian platform, and then fall into the material abyss. So that much they are controlled, and that is the qualifications of a pure devotee, that they are not affected by the modes and by the material existence. So like this, it's glorifying the holy name. So that is the only way. You have to take shelter of the dust, and as I said, Uchista, and also the holy water. So all these are there. Plus, ultimately at the end of the day, the holy name is only delivered, because we are in this Kali Yuga, and the Yuga Dharma is again Nama Sankirtana. So Harinam Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma, and that only can deliver. Because other forms of worship or other forms of deity worship or other forms of yajna, sacrifice, or meditation, these are not possible in this Kali Yuga. So better that we take into the Kali Yuga. And that's how Lord came in the form of a devotee. And he wanted to teach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu apani avatara kari. So he wanted to show in that avatar and that role how one should practice. And that is how he get that 8 gems, Shikshashtaka, which Prabhupada also quotes in this purport, that if somebody concentrates and then somebody follows this 8 verses, I think that is enough. His spiritual life is fulfilled. No need to read Vedas, no need to, of course, it's not possible to read Vedas and understand also. No need to read even any of the scriptures. Just 8 Shikshashtakam is so much potent that it can deliver one living entity, and that should done very sincerely and very seriously. So like that, it's a very, very important shloka. We need to chant and memorize, and we need to meditate upon this Shikshashtaka on a daily basis, at least 2 or 3 times in a day. So that will give us a very good boost to our spiritual existence. And whenever we have a difficulty, I generally go take shelter of Shikshashtaka. that is the best medicine actually, or the best shelter, and you will get the answer, and you will come out of that your difficulties very quickly if you take to Shikshashtaka. Prabhu, can you come down to the purport? Yeah. So here now again Priyamvrta is glorified. As we know, he is the son of Swayambhu Manu, Uttanapada and Priyamvrta were the 2 sons and 3 daughters he had. So this is the beginning of that story, and Priyamvrta's glorification also will come later. And he was considered a great devotee, and he is now glorified. So now Prabhupada also mentions that it is not, although it's not an uncommon it's very rare and wonderful, wonderful characteristics of a person, Rajarishi, like Rajarishi. Rajarishis are those who are Rajas among Rishis and Rishis among Rajas. So, like among the best of spiritual practices, Rishi, he is the king, because they are so much controlled and so spiritual potency they have. And even though they are king, because they are attached to the material governance, material affairs, even though they are so much renounced that they are like a rishi, and they are not succumbing to sense gratification or extraordinary material opulences or extraordinary enjoyment propensities. So that way they are so much controlled and so much renounced that any point of time they're ready to take up spiritual practice. That's how even Bhagavatam, so many devotees, Amrish Maharaj, Bharat Maharaj, Rahugana, so many of them, and all these were exalted devotees. Of course, Parikshit Maharaj, he just left it like that. In 7 days, if he's told that he was going to die, so immediately relinquished everything and then took to spiritual practice. So like that, so many examples which we can take it from this Bhagavata. And so here it is glorified, and then the Lord here is called as Urukrama. That's why Prabhupada is telling that Urukrama means one who does supernatural or superhuman acts, and like that is like how Vaman Dev did. In just 3 steps, he covered the entire universe, and so that glorification also Prabhupada does here about the Vaman Deva. And he also quotes the Jayadev Goswami's Dashavatara Stotra. So here, Chalayasi Vikramane Balim Adbhuta Vamana Padanaka Neera Janita Jana Pavana Keshaduta Vamana Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. So Hare is highlighted here, that he takes away everything inauspicious for the devotees. So whatever we have, some vasanas, previous attachments, all those things can be taken away by the Lord. And that is the Hare, of the Lord. And he tricked the great Bali Maharaj by just 3 steps, and also the water which touched the lotus. And when he touched the spiritual world through his toe, he invoked Ganga Mata so that she can come and purify the entire world, entire living entities, and then give solace to the living entities in the material world, especially Bhuloka. So like that, Lord's glorification is there. And we discussed about this Chaitanya Charitamrita, I mean, Shishtashka also, how the Lord is taking such a humble position that, I just want to just remain at the lotus feet of the Lord as a dust particle, totally inconceivable for us. We always want to, many Maharajas, they ask, okay, if you go to the spiritual world, how you want to be, what role you want to take. I mean, this is just a test or an exam. They ask or they question what role you want to do. You want to become a Gopa or a Gopi or a Manjari, like that. They just want to trick us. So because most of the times devotees, they want to be a close associate of Krishna. When I go back to the material world, they don't want to be anything less than that. But are we really qualified? Okay, are we really eligible to be in that category? So that's not going to be the way it is. We have to, even if we become a dust, which is a material, like it appears like a material part, dust at the lotus feet of the Lord, even that is also good enough for us. Actually, in the material world, even though dust is there, that dust also has a spiritual quality. Whatever material objects are there, that also has a spiritual quality. Even if it is a rock, it could be sand, it could be inanimate things, also has life, the spiritual potency. So that is what we have to understand. So we should not put a condition. No, I want to be a living entity. I want to be a Gopa. Not that. Even if you are assisting the Lord by becoming the sand particle or a rock particle. I mean, you're anyway. The Lord is touching you as he walks or as he sits on the throne or as he sits on the rock. That is enough. That is already spiritual attainment. So like that. It says Titaduli Sadrasham Vichintaya. So that place me the lotus, and always I want to be serve at your lotus. That is the safest place actually for the devotees. Like how the fish, if the fishers are there in a pool, and then fisherman comes and he wants to catch the fish, so he's putting the net. So where he puts the net, the net actually is just away from him where he is standing, right? And the intelligent fish, what it does, it will not go into the or all the herd mentality as a crowd. It will not go into the main to escape, or it will not run away. So the intelligent fish actually comes and stays at the lotus feet of the fisherman. That's it. So you are saved because the net will not reach the lotus feet of that or the feet of that fisherman, and that's a safe. And as he removes the net and he goes away, then the fish can aram se go. So that should be our mood, and take the humble position. So here Lord is taking the humble position and pick me up from this ocean of death and birth. And so like that he is telling, somehow I have fallen down. And yeah. And then now Prabhupada talks about the 6 gunas that what we said: hunger, wave, lamentation, illusion, duality, and death. So, and here if Chandala also chants, even he can also come out. And Prabhupada is very heavy on this caste brahmanas, the Vedic brahmanas or ritualistic brahmanas, who always emphasize that only those devotees, only those people who are born in a Brahminical family can be qualified as brahmanas. Like that, even in Puri, Jagannath Puri, we can see that there are so many pandas, right? Actually, there is one mandap, and as we enter from the exit of the Lord, from having darshan, and there is one mandap, and in that mandap there are about 80 to 100 caste brahmanas will be sitting, and there'll be some chanting mantras, or they'll be talking to some people, and they always want to call you, come, do this, do this seva, do this vrata, or do this, like that. They're typical caste brahmanas. They want people to take up to some rituals, and then they promise, if you do this, you will get this so many benefits. So like that. I'd come across once like that. And although Hare Krishna devotees, ISKCON means they don't come near us, or they know that we are very strong and very vehement when it comes to these kinds of things, and we always stick to chanting the holy name. But still, sometimes it may happen that they might entice you that you please do this, and get this benefit. So like that, these Brahmanas are always of that nature. They always on the bodily concept and say that because you are born in a Brahmana, you will become a Brahmana. And those, I mean, only those people are eligible, and they are very heavy, not accepting, people or a Vaishnava, although they're if they are from a different caste. And what to speak of different countries, Lechas, Yavanas, like in ISKCON, we have so many devotees, exalted devotees who are previously meat eaters or previously, they were drinking alcohol. So many things were there, but by the mercy of a pure devotee, they all got converted. And why? Because of the pure devotees association. Like we have so many instances, instances of devotees how they got converted. And I'll tell about one devotee later in the class, how he got converted, and just by the touch of pure Prabhupada disciple. So therefore they contend that without such a Brahminical body, one cannot be accepted as a Brahmana. So Prabhupada argued every time in his class, that lectures, that a doctor's son, just because he's born in a doctor family, from a doctor's family as a father, he cannot claim himself to be a doctor. That is foolishness. Unless he passes the exam, he goes to the college, medical college, learns everything, practicals, theory, attends the exams, qualifies, gets a certificate, then goes for practice, apprenticeship, all those things. He has to do all those practical training, and only after that, after a few years, after his passing the exam, about 4 or 5 years, then he does specialization. Then he can be called and he will get a degree, or he can get the license to practice, license to do the medical doctor profession. Till the time he cannot get. So like that, Prabhupada argues that this most important is that what you practice. Guna karma vibhagashaha chaturvarnya maya srishtam. So Lord has created the 4 varnas, but it does not, how did this determine? How do you get the guna, and how do you get that or the varna? You are distinguished by the guna and karma. What guna, in which guna you are practicing your daily life, rajo or tamas or sataguna, and karma, what activities you do. So it's very important. Like a Brahmana should be in the mode of goodness maximum, most of the times, and karma also should be Brahmana karma. All the characteristics of a Brahmana he has to do. Activities of a Brahmana, patana, yajana, then dana, pratigrahana. So like this, these are his karma, his activities. This is what he has to do. He has to study the scriptures and preach the scriptures, do the sacrifice, perform the sacrifices, yagnas, all those things. Or it could be Sankirtan yagna. Best is, Prabhupada says, Sankirtan yagna is the best yagna. And then teach the others. So, and then dana pratigrahana. He has to be charitable, give charity and accept charity. So like that, this is very important. And even a Chandala can become, if he is uttered. I mean, Prabhupada again is telling, and the sloka also tells once only, but once is not that shelter that we should take. It should be actually constant. Our constant uttering will only deliver us. We cannot be so light. Holy name is not so light. It's not so cheap. So it's very, very costly, or very, very high price you have to pay for that. So that's the thing. And as Sanatana Goswami also gives that wonderful sloka, just like bell metal, when it is by the mixture of mercury, if you yatha kanchanatam yati kamsyam tasavidanataha. In the chemical process, kamsya is the bell metal, and by mercury, if you put the mercury and mix it at the proper high temp or the requisite temperature, which previous people were doing it, and now today maybe people may not know what is this process. Days Hindus knew what is this process of making by this chemical combination. What you get? Actually, you will get gold. Gold can be manufactured by just doing this chemical process of mixing the bell metal with the mercury. So, similarly, Diksha Vidanena Dvijatvam Upajayate Nranam Jayate Nranam. So, by doing the initiation by the Guru in the proper sampradaya, he can be converted. He can get the Diksha, and Dvijatvam, or the second birth of the spiritual birth, can be taken place. So that's a wonderful shloka which Sanatana Goswami has given. So that Diksha Vidana is very important. That's why we are in ISKCON also we insist on this, that devotees should take the Diksha, the Harinam Diksha first, the second initiation is the Brahminical initiation, and then they can succeed in their life. So this process, even a Chandala or a lowborn or a Shudra or a Aborigine or a meat eater, whatever it is, better category are converted devotee or the initiative. Prabhupada says, person, even though Chandala is devotee, very important, into chanting the holy name of the Lord, his body changes as he follows the instructions of the spiritual master. We cannot see how this happens, but the Shastra is very clear. The holy name is so potent that this can actually change, and even the subtle bodies also will get, the Atma also will get purified. And only in that purified stage, filtered stage, the Atma can come out of that material bondage and reach that Sachidananda Vigraha. Of course, we are all living in it is Sachidananda Vigraha, but in a very, very minute form. Lord is having unlimited potency. So just that Sachidananda Vigraha, as it becomes purified and purified and purified, then that can be a right qualification to go back to the spiritual. So I was talking about one devotee when Prabhupada was in Mumbai. He had come to Mumbai, and there he was doing a Pendal program, and there was one Indian, Maharashtrian Prabhu. So he was actually his past. So he's a big thief, stealing things and all that. And he was actually in a Fred one English names. So he was in prison because he pickpocket or something. And while he was in the cell, the prison house, he saw a newspaper. This article was there. Swamiji, and he is giving Andolan kar raha hai. He's more classes and Maidan also. And somehow he got his attention. A piece of paper was there, and in the photo he saw was wearing a colored wrist. That was the time 75, 475, that the digital clock had come, and it had a golden and very expensive. Prabhupada was gifted by some devotee in the West, and he was wearing it. So this caught his attention, and so what a if I go and have that place, Swamiji, I can that become a millionaire. He was trying, and then by got released from the jail. Period was over. He came in search of Prabhupada. He was there. He wanted into the darshan of room, and he was waiting there to have his darshan, running around Prabhupada. Nobody was allowing because outside not no kantima, this like nothing, and so they were all chasing. He did not want to be. Then he was struggling. So why Bombay time the Juhu temple going on. Leave. He got a chance, and then he came Prabhupada into the room, and he saw completely. He was completely. He was by suing at Prabhupada, and Prabhupada had directly looked, and the moment he saw all his actions of stealing to becoming a thief, actually completely do. He just fell and then surrendered. And he asked, "What do you want? What do you come for? You want the watch, is it?" And then as he started giving that. Then he completely fell down, surrendered, and then a mistake. So mercifully gave him that position. I mean, he didn't ask, "Who are you? What is your background?" Nothing. We come to know that Haridas was an orphan. He didn't know who's his father. He didn't know who is his mother. He was just loitering around here and there. He didn't, have any relatives. So that kind of this and I think Giriraj goes. Then he was doing his. So he just no name for him, and then he was called. Later on, he was called because he took Harinam, so he was scared. And even Prabhupada also called him Haridas. So like that, he was there. After also did come, every time he was always inquiring, how is Haridas doing? Now, how is he chanting? By the time he had been initiated also by Prabhupada, so he had showered his mercy so much, and he started chanting. He started staying in the temple, doing all the temple seva. Even while after the initiation, also he had once or twice he was caught because he was eating chocolates and he was stealing money, temple's money. But again, he was given some mercy by Prabhupada and all the devotees, and he continued. Later on, I think in 76 or 77, when Prabhupada came back again, so he had so much confidence on Haridas that he told, "What are you doing? What seva you are doing?" And he said, "There's that, some local, some seva, some. Are you not preaching?" Prabhupada asked. "No, Maharaj, I'm not able to do that because I'm not capable. I don't like that." He was very humble person, and he did not have any interest in the preaching. And Prabhupada was very heavy. "I'm going to give. I'll give you a passport. I'll arrange passport for you. You go to the Africa. You go to the West countries, and you start preaching." Like that, he showered so much of mercy to Haridas. Haridas was totally, flattered. Flattened. He didn't know what to do, and very very vibrant story. And when he came, Prabhupada, when the application for the passport had to be done, his father's name he had to put, and he didn't know his father's name. Then when he asked Prabhupada, "Prabhupada, I'm not able to get the visa passport because I don't know my father's name." Then Prabhupada said, "Put my name." So that way, Prabhupada put A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami as his father's name, and then he put the passport application, and passport was sanctioned. So he got. Then Prabhupada told, I believe, that even I had put my name, my guru's name, when he had to make his passport visa, when he had to go to the US, he had put Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. So like that, he explained, and the same parampara continuing now. So let him go. So this much mercy Prabhupada showered, and then finally he went for preaching. So this is the association of the pure devotee, mercy of a pure devotee. How iron like a heart, hard, and stone like a heart can get converted and can become so soft and so malleable and can become gold by the association of a devotee. Hare Krishna. So that's it. And Prabhu wanted one. When it comes to the Harinam song, there is one very famous song of Purandaradasa, which is Ambiga na ninna nambide Jagadambaramana na nambide. Ambiga na ninna nambide Jagadambaramana na nambide. So here is I'll continue the song. Tumbida harigo lambiga Ada kombattu chidravu ambiga. Tumbida harigo lambiga adu kombattu chidravu ambiga. ಸುಳಿಯೋಳು ಮುಳುಗಿದೆ ಅಂಬಿಗ ನನ್ನ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಮಂಟಪಕ್ಕೆ ಸೆಳೆದೊಯ್ಯೋ ಅಂಬಿಗ ಸುಳಿಯೋಳು ಮುಳುಗಿದೆ ಅಂಬಿಗ ಎನ್ನ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಮಂಟಪ ಕೊಯ್ಯೋ ಅಂಬಿಗ ಆರು ತೆರೆಯ ನೋಡಂಬಿಗ ಅದ ನಿವಾರಿಸಿ ದಾಟಿಸೋನಿ ಅಂಬಿಗ. So here Purandaras is telling ಆರು ತೆರೆ, the six waves, the six, that is the same what we are talking here. The same urges, the six urges or the six organs or the six waves are all haunting me. So please help me in crossing over this, like that he is telling in this. And then he is also telling Ambika. Ambika is that boatman. Ambika naan inna nambide. I believed in you and I have firm faith in you. Please take me to your spiritual world and cross me over this material world, material sea. And then Tumbida Harigolu Ambiga. So this body is like a boat and it has 9 holes. So we also have that 9 holes. So like that he's mentioning, and that you please take this body away and destroy this body and relinquish me from this body affairs and then give me the spiritual body. So like that he's mentioning in this and glorifying the Lord. So Lord, and then we should have a spiritual master as who's the captain of the ship, and he can take us to the spiritual world. So that should be the prayer. I think we are time is up. Yeah, there is one more song sung by Vadiraja. Vadiraja was who came after Purandaradasa. And he was in Sonde, today's Sirsi Taluk, Karnataka, interior Karnataka. Honnawar, Sirsi is there, and there Vadiraja was reigning, and he has his mutt also there, and very very prominent acharya in the Madhva Sampradaya, and he had he had several times gone to Tirupati, and how he had climbed the Tirupati hills on his knees because he did not want his feet to touch the Lord, because he's Saptagiri Vasa, Srinivasa, Venkatesha. So he's already there residing in the 7 hills, holy hills. So he did not want to touch his lotus, his feet, because I'll be making an offense. So he had climbed the hill several times by crawling on his knees. So amazing devotee, and so many pastimes he had, even in Tirupati also. When we get some time chance, we can talk about it. So this is the song actually, and it's again we are talking of the Varna Ashrama, which is talked in this session. So here he is glorifying the Lord, that to which Varna or to which caste you belong. For him there is no caste, no Varna, nothing is there, because he is the all-powerful Supreme Lord. But still he is teasing the Lord. So the song goes like this. Avakulavo ranga ariyalagadu, avakulavo ranga ariyalagadu, avakulavendarialagadu, ಗೋವಕಾಯ್ವಾ ಕೊಲ್ಲನಂತೆ ದೇವಲೋಕದ ಪಾರಿಜಾತವು ಹೂವಸತಿಗೆ ತಂದನಂತೆ ಆವಕುಲವೋ ರಂಗ ಅರಿಯಲಾಗದು. ಗೋಕುಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದನಂತೆ ಗೋವುಗಳನ್ನು ಕಾಯ್ದನಂತೆ ಕೊಳಲನೂದಿ ಮೃಗ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳ ಮರಳು ಮಾಡಿದನಂತೆ ತರಳತನದಿ ವರಳಿ ನೆಗಹಿ ಮರವ ಮುರಿದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಾರಿ ತೆರೆದು ಬಾಯೊಳಗಿರೇಳು ಲೋಕವ ಇರಿಸಿ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ತೋರ್ದನಂತೆ ಆವಕುಲವೋ ರಂಗ ಅರಿಯಲಾಗದು. ಕೊಲ್ಲತಿಯರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಪೊಕ್ಕು ಕಳ್ಳತನವ ಮಾಡಿದನಂತೆ ವಲ್ಲದ ಪೂತನಿಯ ವಿಷವನುಂಡು ಮೆಲ್ಲನೆ ತೃಣನ ಕೊಂದನಂತೆ ಪಕ್ಷಿ ತನ್ನ ವಾಹನವಂತೆ ಹಾವು ತನ್ನ ಹಾಸಿಗೆಯಂತೆ ಮುಖಂಡ ತನ್ನ ಮೊಮ್ಮಗನಂತೆ ಮುದ್ದು ಮುಖದ ಚೆಲ್ವನಂತೆ ಆವಕುಲವೋ ಆವಕುಲವೋ ರಂಗ ಅರಿಯಲಾಗದು. ಕರಡಿ ಮಗಳ ತಂದನಂತೆ ಶರದಿ ಮಗಳು ಮಡದಿಯಂತೆ, ಧರಣಿಯನ್ನು ಬೆಡಿದನಂತೆ ಇರೆಳು ಲೋಕದ ಒಡೆಯನಂತೆ. ಹಡಗಿನಿಂದಲಿ ಬಂದನಂತೆ ಕಡಲ ದಡೆಯಲಿ ನಿಂದನಂತೆ, ಒಡನೆ ಮಧ್ವರಿಗೊಲಿದನಂತೆ ಒಡೆಯ ಹಯವದನಂತೆ. ಆವ ಕುಲವೋ ರಂಗ ಅರಿಯಲಾಗದು, ಆವ ಕುಲವೆಂದರಿಯಲಾಗದು. ಗೋವ ಕಾಯ್ವ ಗೊಲ್ಲನಂತೆ ದೇವಲೋಕದ ಪಾರಿಜಾತವು ಹೂವ ಸತಿಗೆ ತಂದನಂತೆ. ಆವ ಕುಲವೋ ರಂಗ ಅರಿಯಲಾಗದು. Hare Krishna. So, Ava Kulavo Ranga, which caste do you belong? Which family? Actually, you came in a Golla. You came as a Gokuladalli, Huttidanante, Govugala Kaidanante. You were a cowherd boy. Govu Kaiva Gollanante. But you brought Parijata from Devaloka for your wife because she asked Satyabhama. So, like that. Kodalanudi Mruga Pakshigala. Just by your flute, playing the flute, you mystified so many of the living entities, including the animals and birds. And you how you fought with Kalia, danced on Kalia, and then you surmounted or you controlled that Kalia. And then just by opening the mouth, you showed the entire universe to your mother. So what all acts you are doing? So how do I consider which what is your character, what caste you come, how you're coming, you're in a very cowherd boy family, but you're doing so many unbelievable things. And Gollatiyare manege pokku kallatannada madivante, and you visiting Gopi's house and doing all the stealing butter, so many things. So you're a kalla, you're a thief. Choragraganyam purusham namami. So like that. So he was such a thief. And Putaniya, you killed Putani, who came to give you poison, but you killed her. You sucked the life out of her body, and then you killed Trunavarta. So many demons you killed. Then Pakshitanna Vahanavante. Garuda is your vehicle. Havu tanna hasige ante. Anantadeva is your bed. Mukkanna tanna Mumaganante. Mukkanna is considered Brahma. Brahma is your Mamaga. Sorry, Mukkanna is Shiva. Shiva is your grandson. Muddu Mukada Chalvanante. So that is your, all beautiful. Then Karadi Magala Tandanante. So you married Jambavati, the Karadi's daughter, the bear daughter. Sharadi Magalu Madadi Ante. The Lakshmi is your Madadi, who is Sagara's daughter. Dharaniyannu bedidanante ಈರೇಳು ಲೋಕವ ಒಡೆಯನಂತೆ. So ಧರಣಿಯ ಬೇಡಿದ is Vamana to Bali. He asked the 3 steps. I mean, he asked for the earth. 3 steps he covered the entire universe. ಈರೇಳು ಲೋಕದ ಒಡೆಯನಂತೆ, and you are the lord of the entire universe. Then ಹಡಗಿನಿಂದ ಬಂದನಂತೆ. So who is the Hadagi? Means Hadagu is ship. So you came through the ship. Who is that? Kadala Dadayali Nindanante. So who is this? This is actually Udupi Krishna. That he came, Madhvacharya, when he was there, he came in the ship, and then he was immersed in the Gopi Chandan, and then that is how he came, and then you stayed in Udupi Dham. Vadane Madhvari Golidanante. So you are pleased by Madhvacharya's bhakti, and you came to his your temple was established there by Madhvacharya. Odeya Hayavadanante. So Hayavadana is his Ankita Nama. So he's telling you are the Odeya, or the boss. So like that, he is explaining the entire Leela of the Lord, and then in a very, very contrasting way, he is comparing the Lord, and finally telling that he doesn't belong to any caste or anything, and he is the Supreme Lord himself. Whichever way he wishes, he can perform. And when he had to come as Varaha, he came as from the nostrils of Brahma as a So all very unimaginable feats Lord perform, and that way glorification is going on. Hare Krishna. So I'll just conclude the session here. If anyone has got any realizations, any comments, please you can take. Hare Bol.
Thanks a lot, Prabhuji, for the very wonderful class and the way you have glorified the holy name and the Lord's Leelas. And
Hare Bol, Hare.
like very nice example of Haridas, like with a lot of bhava.
Hare Bol.
And the devotees, your lines are unmuted, so you can unmute and ask any questions or any clarifications if you need. There are comments, Prabhuji. Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranams, thanks for the very wonderful nectarian class with the nectarian songs.
Hare Bol.
Nimnath Prabhu, thanks for nice class, Prabhuji.